Hey guys, so today I have a college advice video. I want to thank MadTownUSA13 for suggesting this. She's been commenting really nice things, and I'm sorry I can't reply because I can't figure out Google Plus at all. But thank you for the suggestion, and let's just get into it. I'm just going to split this up into two parts. The first part is going to be like academic scheduling kind of stuff, and then the second is going to be more social dorm life. So just to start off, my personal experience, I guess. I live in the city for school. It's an urban environment. It's very large and it's very diverse as well. And it is also close to home. I can take the train home on the weekends if I want to, but it's still totally different than the kind of environment I was living in before. So that's what my experience is. Obviously it's going to be different for everyone. I want to reiterate that because I visited a lot of my friends at their campuses and it can be totally different. If you're a senior right now and you're applying, well, I guess if you're a junior and you're looking at schools, just try to keep in mind what kind of environment you would thrive in. I personally love the city. If you like, more rural areas, just I think that might be the most important aspect to your college decision. I mean, besides their academic level, but really the environment is what's going to matter. I know some of my friends go to Penn State, and if you don't join Greek life, having a social life is pretty difficult. So I picked my school because you can do anything. You can take the subway and go get food, go to concerts, go to shows, anything like that. So there's a lot to do on my campus, especially besides just party. But if you are a party person, then also take that into consideration for your school if that's important to you. So just to describe my typical day, sorry this doesn't have to do with academics, but I just want to give you a perspective of what my experience is like. So I'd wake up around 9 or 10, skip breakfast. I have communal living style dorm. So my whole floor is all girls, and then the next floor is guys, and it just, it's all freshmen as well. So I have to share bathrooms. That's kind of gross. But yeah, I'll get more into the actual dorm life in the next part of the video. But then I go to class, and I have mostly lecture style that's pretty big, like maybe 100, 150 people. A couple of my classes are smaller, and the smaller ones I definitely learn better in. Also take that into consideration when you're scheduling classes, is class size and individual attention as well. Between each class, I usually have 3 hours maybe. I normally nap or I do work for the next class. And then, once I'm done my very last class, I go get dinner around 4 p.m., which is kind of early, but just the way my schedule worked out. I go get dinner with my roommate usually. And then after that, I just have free time, and I usually, go to the gym if I can, which is very important. That's another tip. Try to exercise. Find someone who you can go to the gym with. And then I usually don't do any homework. The thing is, I nap a lot. I have like 30 alarms set. Sometimes I would set them and wake up at like 10 p.m. and then do my work till like 3 a.m. I really just, time is so much different in college than it is in high school. You feel like you have tons of it, but at the same time, you feel like you don't have time at all to do anything. Mostly because I nap all of it away. But anyway. So yeah, it's a lot of napping. You do have a lot of downtime. I do Netflix. I hang out with my roommates or my friends, go get lunch with them. And that's basically the college experience. On the weekends, I do party. I was never a huge partier in high school. I only started partying like my senior year. But in college, it's okay, especially at my university. It's fine if you don't, because there's tons of other things to do. But it is a big part of the weekend as well for most, college students. So just do whatever you're comfortable with. Try new things though. If you never really liked socializing that much, try to get out of your shell. You don't have to party obviously, but do what's comfortable. So that's my experience. Now I'll get on to the academics part. Obviously everybody studies in a different kind of way. I personally procrastinate to the last minute, and that's the best way I can retain information. But obviously the best advice to give you is do your work right away. It's not something you can usually put off. If you have readings every night and you try to study, that's another thing. I never used my textbooks, which is probably bad, but it's just a habit I had from high school for my AP classes. The reading was overwhelming to me, so I would just, do like a shortened outlined version of it right before the test, and it did work for me. But try to do your readings every night if you don't really work that way. That's basically my only study tip. Don't study in your bed. If you go to the library, you will get a lot more done just because you're in an environment where you can't really do anything else. Academics wise, it wasn't too much harder for me than high school was. Maybe it's because I already took AP level classes, so I kind of had an idea of what it would be like. The work, it matters more, but you have less of it. Well, that's not really true. Basically, you don't have busy work. You might not have homework assignments every night that are due the next day, but you will have important work that you have to do just because you need to know that information, because there's so much more you learn in college than in high school. So yeah, work matters more and the assignments take longer to do typically, but there is no busy work, like I said, which is nice. Another tip is to take some easy gen eds or general education requirements. Basically, when you schedule, my school has different gen ed requirements, like, a math and English, 2 science courses, like a diversity class, things like that. And if you have a very rigorous schedule, you might want to go easy and take some fun sounding gen eds that are easy A's. Still take things that you're interested in, but I took a neuroscience gen ed, which was kind of a mistake just because it's going to be a lot of work on top of my core neuroscience class. But I am interested in it at least. It's okay if you don't know what you want to do. I'm undecided, but like I just said, I'm looking into neuroscience and psychology, or I might do marketing and advertising. We'll see. So it's totally fine if you don't know what you want to do your freshman year. Don't worry about it. I don't know why they expect 18-year-olds to know what they want to do. But if you're a junior and you still haven't really figured it out, you definitely need to, go meet with an academic advisor, try to take a couple classes that might interest you so you can hone it down into something that you would enjoy doing and that is going to bring you money in the long run. Because if you major, in fine arts, even if you love it, you might want to try, something like graphic design that might have more job opportunities. For scheduling, this is a very crucial part of the college experience. Now, if you can't, some people, like my brother, he needed an econ class and there was only one and he couldn't get into it, and that is required as a prereq for the rest of the things that he needs to do. So this is a very important part of the process. You have to plan ahead of time, write down backups of classes that you want. Now, scheduling might work differently for other schools, but for me, it opens at a certain time. In the summer before I was a freshman in college, I had to go for orientation and register there. So I was kind of rushed, I didn't really know what I was doing, and it's just really important to, keep track of what gen eds you need, how many credits you're taking. Use Rate My Professor definitely to find easy and, really good teachers as well. And make sure you schedule enough time between classes. If your campus is huge and it takes you 20 minutes to walk from one place to another, don't schedule a class that's 10 minutes right after your last one. Give yourself some time, but not like an hour, because then that's just an awkward period of time in between where you can't really, there's just too much waiting time, but you can't go back to your dorm anyway because then you're going to have to go right back. So just be mindful of that as well. And then the times, if you're a morning person, schedule 8 a.m.s, go right ahead, but for most people, it's still too early. Even if you got up at 6 for high school, it's just too much because you stay up later in college. If you're a party person, don't schedule Friday classes if you can. I don't have Friday classes this semester. I'm taking night classes twice a week because I am a night person and I just want to have my Friday freed up, and then a lot of people go out on Thursday night, so if that interests you, then keep that in mind as well. So that's mostly the schedule academic part of it. I will say that it's very strange in the beginning to go from I lived in a suburban setting and then I went into an urban setting, and the transition between high school and college for some people is really easy and, very natural. But for others like me, it takes a while. It took me a while to make friends, get used to the campus, get used to a new routine in general. But for some people, you'll quickly get into it and it will just be, just another normal kind of thing for you. And don't be discouraged if you take a while to feel at home at the campus. Now, I don't really have any tips for if you are commuting. My friend commutes and she definitely regrets that. I know a majority of the people who commute regret commuting. If you can't really help it, then you just have to get as involved as possible, which I'll talk in the next video. But yeah, I'm sorry I don't really have any tips for that. Oh, another tip is for textbooks, use, slug books like everybody talks about. I just used Amazon. You can look at the lowest price, and then definitely rent textbooks if you're not going to use them ever again. That's a really good tip. Never buy from the bookstore. So yeah, that is my whole academic scheduling portion. Hopefully that helped you somewhat. I know it's kind of generic advice, but I mean, it is what works. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. That will be about the social life, partying, just dorm life in general. So I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.